G'day everybody, my name is Gareth Walton and today we're going to be doing a review on my slider teleprompter. It's basically a teleprompter that slides. I don't know too many people that are actually doing this on YouTube, so I kind of like to think of myself as unique. So I've got my camera placed here today for this very special daily episode because we are making daily shows on channel 2, which you're on right now, but of course we do have channel 1, right? We make travel vlogs on channel 1, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, at Tallboy Gareth, if you can even see it, I don't know. But yes, a very special episode regarding this teleprompter. I'm going to be showing you what I'm using to get the sliding motion happening. You guys can't see me. There we go. I'm going to be showing you what kind of teleprompter I ended up using and my thoughts about everything that I've got. I wish I could have made some better decisions as opposed to the ones I did make. So I'm going to talk all about that in today's show. Once again, if that sounds interesting to you, please follow the journey, give us a like, subscribe, and all that jazz, okay? All right, so going to the actual teleprompter, all right? This is going to be a live show, but we will edit probably a few things here and there just to get the show looking as seamless as possible because this is pretty unique of a show of mine. We usually just talk about world news and unboxing reviews and stuff like that, you know, technology reviews and stuff like that. So this will be a very smally, is that even a word? Very smally edited video just so we can get everything working. But yeah, this is the teleprompter and the slider. Now you may be asking yourself, how does this work? Well, first of all, let's go to the start. We've actually got ourselves an A10 Mini Extreme, as you guys can see there. I don't know if you can see it properly. There we go. This is my A10 Mini Extreme ISO. It's from Blackmagic, and this is what the actual website is, right? So if you guys are interested in a Blackmagic, feel free to go check out this website. Once again, I have this one right here. So that's the start. That's how I'm powering everything in my studio, okay? By the way, this slider has a setting controller. All right, guys, so can you guys see me? Hopefully. Okay, so this is the actual control panel for this slider. This thing's gonna hit me in the head in a second. If I get unconscious, someone call 911, okay? This thing has been using batteries for the longest time. Only recently, this is what the batteries look like, all right? Big, fat, Sony looking batteries. We'll put them on the table. That's not politically correct anymore. The large boned big batteries. Recently, probably about a few weeks ago, I ended up getting a power cable which plugs into this, and now everything in my studio, 100% everything in my studio is powered by electricity, including the cameras. You know, everything's powered by electricity. What am I talking about? It's powered by the AC, okay? No more batteries. I don't use batteries in anything that I use anymore. By the way, I also have my settings to 80% move speed right now. I usually have it set to 60%, but I think having the extra speed is kind of cool because it gets you guys to see the movement a bit better than you would have before, if that makes any sense. All right. So anyway, let's show you some website articles that I've already got ready on my computer right here. Now my slider, which is number 1, right? We'll start from the base and work our way up. All right. The slider is from GVM. I highly recommend my slider. We have done a video review on it, and I will show you that in a second, and we will also link that in the description below. But this is my slider right now, okay? It's the one with the enclosed metal. Now you can get 2 different versions, right? I've got the 48. You guys see the 48 right there? You can get a 48 without the enclosed. So why did I get the enclosed version? Well, the enclosed version allows you to have a lot more weight, have a lot more, you know, heavy camera equipment sitting on that thing. This thing right here, which is the exact same length, doesn't carry as much weight. All right, so if you're looking for a long ass slider, this is a long ass slider, and this is the one that I'm using for my studio. Highly recommend it. There is no issues with it whatsoever. This is my video. Geez, that's a funny looking face. Is that really me? By the way, I have a COVID beard. This is my peekaboo. Peekaboo. My beard, which I'm growing so viciously, like Wolverine apparently. That's me opening my claws like Hugh Jackman. Because we're on lockdown currently at the moment in Sydney, Australia, we're not allowed to leave our house within 5 kilometre radius, and we're not allowed to leave our house from 9 p.m. until 5 a.m. There's a curfew as well. So when lockdown finishes, that's when I'm officially cutting my beard off. But this is a representation of lockdown currently in my area. Anyway, okay, so this is the video that we made regarding the slider. So we will be linking this in the description below if you feel interested in watching it. All right, so this is the website that I'm using my actual teleprompter with. It's Glide Gear. Now there are 2 different models I was thinking about getting. There's this version, and there's this version. This is the version I ended up getting. This is the version I'm looking at the camera into my eyes. I'm staring into the teleprompter right now, and yeah, this is the one right now, the 17. So why did I end up getting the 17 as opposed to the 500? Well, first things first, I'm not fully happy with my decision to have bought this actual teleprompter, but I will get to that in a second. All right. So the 500, there's a few different versions of stuff that they make. Okay. The 500 has this beam. Do you guys see that big beam right there? This piece of steel metal, which is restricting the iPad. All right. I didn't want that big beam to be there because I knew that I wanted to get an actual teleprompter monitor, a professional teleprompter monitor. But if I would have used this model, this beam would have been in the way, and I would have been restricted to something like an iPad. Now, so I ended up getting this model, which does not have the beam. All right, there's no big restriction, and not even a word, isn't it? There's no big restriction going on there. There's just up, down, and you can get anything you want there. You know, hypothetically, you could put a 50-inch TV there. Hypothetically, that's what I thought, right? These 2 teleprompters really are designed from Glide Gear, really are designed for someone with an iPad, someone with a tablet, all right? Getting an actual teleprompter monitor for this actual teleprompter isn't the way to go. No. So if I could go back in time to get a different teleprompter, I would, from a different manufacturer, because this is the best one that Glide Gear makes, and it's not a bad price, right? Comparatively speaking, right? That, you know, some teleprompters go up into, you know, $2,000-3,000. It's a lot of money, all right? So this was the best one they made, and I thought I'd be okay, and it is kind of okay for what I need because there's no beam there, but I would have definitely got something different. I'm going to show you my suggestions for a proper teleprompter that, you know, I suggest. Let's look at it right now, okay? But before we do, quick little mention, this was the actual teleprompter monitor that I ended up getting for my Glide Gear 750, all right? I got this from B&H Photo, great little website. I'm sure a lot of you photographers and videographers know all about this place in New York City. Yeah. A great little monitor, 17-inch. It's a reversing monitor. Now, mind you, I will quickly say this. I originally thought that I'd be getting this teleprompter and I'd use a spare... I honestly thought I was going to use a spare computer screen, right? I thought I'd put up a spare computer screen right there. I thought I'd put it right here, right? And that would be just fine. Just fine for my needs, right? The problem is... computer screens, TV screens, they don't flip the image. There is no mirror flip on these images. You need a specific monitor or specific software in able to get the image flipped. So then when it sees the actual glass, it's looking like the picture comes across and then the words come across the correct way to the eyes, because, you know, you have to remember a teleprompter is the screen underneath and then there's a piece of glass right there, and it's reflecting off the glass into your eyes, right? So yeah, I was a little bit naive when I thought I could put my spare computer monitor there, and I tried it, but you know, obviously the words and everything was backwards, and I just couldn't. There's no way I can read it, right? There's no way anyone can read it. It's like a whole nother language. Okay. So once again, this was the actual monitor I went for, and it works fine. I don't regret the monitor. Pretty good. I wanted a monitor with standard brightness or better. Now this one has 400 CD. I don't know what that stands for, but it has 400 CD of brightness. All right. Some monitors on this webpage, B&H Photo, they're like, you know, 200 CD, 250 CD, 300 CD. Some are 1,000. Some are 1,000 CD, which is even better than mine, right? So usually when you get a teleprompter monitor, you're going to want something kind of bright, because when you're in a studio atmosphere like I am right now, you have lights all around you. Okay, let me show you this camera angle right now. You've got a huge light. Okay, a huge big bloody light on my pinball machine. By the way, I built that pinball machine, but that's a whole nother video for a whole nother story. You've got all these lights in the studio, and you really need a teleprompter that will project a decent amount of light. All right, otherwise, how are you going to be able to read the words coming off the reflected screen, right? So that's something to think about. Get one with good brightness. All right. Now, I did make a video review regarding my Glide Gear TPM teleprompter, but this was only really an unboxing. This was, you know, first impressions, me opening the box for the very first time. You know, it was a virgin, and then it wasn't, because I opened her up. All right. You know, I don't know where this video is going anymore, but yeah, look, so if you want to go see an unbox review on this monitor, please feel free. Someone who's got a tablet PC or something like that, yeah, something small, yeah, this teleprompter is absolutely great for it, but I would not recommend this teleprompter to put an actual monitor on it. And I'll get to that in a second, okay? So these are the actual teleprompters that I do suggest, well, the teleprompter companies, I guess you could say, that I do suggest. If I would have had a bit more money, because, you know, ultimately, I ended up saving a bit of money, okay? But that's what I thought at the time, right? I thought I'd get myself a Glide Gear 750, peekaboo, and save some money. But then, you know, then I didn't realize that I'd actually need a flippable monitor, right? Which I ended up getting a professional monitor. And the monitor, let's go back for a second. The monitor ended up costing me more than the actual teleprompter. Does that make any sense? This is a $600 monitor, all right? A $600 monitor, USD, and this is a $349 teleprompter without the monitor. So I thought I'd be saving money. I don't think it really ended up being that way, unfortunately. Ouch. So yeah, if I could go back in time, for a number of reasons, I would definitely go with one of these companies. All right, now either Prompter People or ICANN. Now, I'm sure there are other companies that make teleprompters, obviously. All right, but I don't know who they are. Two good ones that I'm absolutely aware of are these two. Now, going back to Prompter People, they make some really incredible teleprompters. We'll quickly change that button so I can see into my teleprompter while I show you guys this actual article, because, you know, one of the reasons why I got this teleprompter was to actually read articles off my website, right? None of this, you know, writing a script and somehow putting the script onto this monitor, right? I'm reading things directly off my computer, all right? Directly off my computer screen. I got a touch screen computer, all right? Directly off my touch screen computer, and I'm able to, you know, look at you guys and be like, hey everybody, so this is this and that's that, and that's how the way things go, you know? So we'll push this back so I can properly see things, but yeah, Prompter People, if you are listening, and if you'd like to shout out me a brand new, shout out me, that's not even a real sentence, is it? If you'd like to shout me out a prompter from your company, please do. I would absolutely review it. I would most likely replace the one that I currently have right here. Okay? Kind of wishing I would have bought a prompter from you guys in the first place. I'm pretty sure this company actually supplies teleprompters to, you know, the President of the United States kind of thing. So, but also, like I said, another company is ICANN. Okay? They have great teleprompters. This was another company I was definitely considering getting my teleprompter from. Didn't, but it is what it is. Okay, so if you're from ICANN and you're watching this video, please feel free to shout me your teleprompter and I will do a review. Obviously to keep, I'm not giving it back. Geez, what do you think I am? You know, send me a teleprompter from one of those companies, or if you're not from another company, send me something. Get in contact with me and I will do an actual review. And I probably will end up replacing this thing here. Okay. So probably my number one problem with this teleprompter is that, like I said, the screen and the prompter don't match up properly. They're not built for each other. It's like third party meets third party. Now this is the ultimate problem, which I will show you. I'm going to actually move this camera so you guys can see the prompter properly. So I'll quickly zoom in for you guys and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I'll go to a web page, right? So I'll show you the web page and I'll read from a little bit of it. Maybe it's too dark. Let me adjust it for you. If I adjust the levels, now you guys can see the words a bit better. Okay, is that a bit better for you guys? Because I'm reading off a web page, right? I'm going backwards and forwards like this, reading off a web page. I've got to constantly readjust. I've got to readjust how big my web page is for this teleprompter. Now, I suppose you do that for every teleprompter if this setup was set up kind of thing, but this one is a bigger problem. I'll show you right now. All right. Now, as you guys can see, the words are on the very edge of the screen. So if I overlap, then obviously I can't read anything on the sides, right? But if I make it just perfect, about there looks okay, about there looks perfect, right? That should be fine to read. Oh, but no, not with this teleprompter. This is the problem, right? The screen is physically bigger than the actual mirror, all right? Let me say that again. The screen, the teleprompter monitor, is bigger slightly than the actual mirror. So as a result, they're not quite meeting up with each other. So I've got to make the picture smaller again to compensate for what I'm reading. Okay. If you're from a different teleprompter company, please send us something good, okay? And so I'll put the words on the very end of the screen, okay? That way I should be able to read them. That way the words are as big as possible so I can read, and you'll have glasses, okay? All right. Going back to this again, I'm unable to read it properly. I have to constantly readjust my head from left to right to be able to read from the far edges of the corners. That's what happens when you mix third party with third party, right? It's a great teleprompter, but it's ultimately designed for iPads and tablets, okay? Yeah. Does it work with an actual monitor? Yes, because I'm reading it right now. The slider supports parallaxing tracking of 120 degree parallax shooting. It works, but not the best, okay? All right, moving on. Gareth, check your phone. I leave these little messages for myself because if you look at the very top of the screen, I go through my tabs from left to right, okay? This is my way of checking off my list to make sure I've talked about everything. So I'm gonna show you some of the accessories that I ended up getting for this teleprompter. Now, I originally had no idea how to get this monitor of mine onto this teleprompter, which really don't communicate with each other properly. It's not built. This Glide Gear 750 really isn't built to have anything bigger than a tablet on it, right? It does the job, but in my opinion, not very good. Okay, so I was like so frustrated for like months. I did that review video about this teleprompter, you know, months ago, okay? And only about 2 weeks now, I've had this thing actually operational and working on an actual slider, all right? About 2 weeks. I wanted to make sure that everything was working for a good enough period of time. I got all the bugs and the chinks out, right? And, you know, everything seems to be working now, which is why I'm making a video on the situation, right? But, you know, in order to get this monitor working, this third-party monitor working on this third-party teleprompter, you know, right? I had all these accessories. Can we show you guys? I had all these accessories and things to go. You know, it's like how do you pronounce it? It's like a shop filled with a bunch of this and that. So, you know, there's $2 shops or there's $1 shops, $5 shops. They have a bunch of everything. Things that you never thought you'd want, and a lot of those things you'd never need either. But I ended up trying to put this and that and this and that together, trying to make the thing work. It was such a nightmare, right? I ended up buying these things, cheese grater things, cheese plates. What are they actually called? I don't quite know. But yeah, I ended up just trying to like Frankenstein this thing together, which is why I wish I would have just bought an actual, you know, proper teleprompter. Would have spent a bit more money than I, you know, absolutely would have done that type of thing. This is something else that I bought, which I didn't need. It hooks onto the rails, but I will show you using my iPhone right now. I have my iPhone 11 Pro Max plugged into my A10 Mini Pro Extreme, A10 Mini Extreme ISO, and we're gonna go and swipe up to get my phone working. And now we're going to go to camera 7, all right? And now, guys, this is a live feed from my phone. So if I do this, you guys can see it's 100% a live feed, okay? So going to the first picture, this is something that I had to buy for the base of my teleprompter, all right? We'll show you that in a second. This is what it looks like. Maybe we'll turn it this way. That's a bit better. All right, there we go. This is what the thing looks like. Okay, this is what it looks like. Definitely needed this for my teleprompter. I will show you in a second what I'm talking about, okay? If you guys want something like I have, then you may need to buy something like this. You may. That's what the product was actually called, okay? Now, by using my phone, I'm going to show you what this thing actually looks like. Here we go. Okay, back to 7. All right. So I'm pushing record simply so my light comes on. Me simply recording doesn't do anything, but it's just going through the A10 Mini Pro. So this thing we just showed you is this thing right here, okay? This thing right here. All right. Now, if I was to undo that right now, I could then literally slide the whole teleprompter off the track with no dramas, right? So that's exactly why I bought that thing. Like I said, this video will be edited. It will have to be at this point because, you know, I want to make things as seamless as possible for you guys, the viewer, okay? Going back to my situation here. Okay, back to number 7. These were photos I did regarding my famous Vietnam War video through the tunnels. I showed you the stats and how much money I made on YouTube for that video. It went viral. I got like over 4 million views. Go check out that video if you want to go watch it. But now, okay. So this was something else I bought, as you guys saw before. This is the thing right here. Okay. I thought I'd use this to be able to put the camera on the rails, but I didn't end up needing it. But I'm still glad I bought it because I can possibly use this for something else in the future. Now, this is something that I definitely needed. There's literally like 2 or 3 of these attached. I think there's like 2 attached to my teleprompter right now. And I'll show you exactly where this is on my teleprompter after I finish showing you these photos, all right? So that goes on the rails like so, okay? Holds the camera in place or the monitor in place, okay? So now going back to my camera, I can show you what this thing actually is. This thing is definitely needed in my case. All right, this is it here. this thing right here is holding my screen in place. Do you guys see that? It's literally shining on it right there. That thing is holding the screen up with a cheese plate. There's the cheese plate, okay? And where's the other one? There it is there. That one's upside down. Okay, that one's upside down, and that's getting held onto the base of that thing I just showed you, one with the red dot. All right. Very, very important situations. Okay. So, going back to my phone one more time, I ended up getting this as well because I wasn't sure if I'd need it. And at one point I actually was using this to actually secure my camera, but I ended up needing it. Now this is the cheese plate, one of the versions I ended up getting. It's it holds onto the rails, 15mm standard rails pretty well. Okay, these are the kind of things that you can do with it. You can do quite a bit. All right, there's that. So these things absolutely will come in handy if you're a professional photographer or a videographer, right? Now going back to this photo one more time, this is potentially one of the most important things, if not the most important thing, to get my teleprompter working with my slider. Now I had no idea how to actually secure this thing, all right? I'm gonna walk over to my monitor. I'm walking over, guys, all right? So I was literally like, how on earth, there's shit on my floor. How on earth am I going to attach this pretty heavy object onto this machine, right? Onto this actual slider? I had no idea. I had no idea how to do that. I thought, well, maybe I'll just have to turn the monitor around and around and around, right? And I thought, but then it won't be accurate. I want to be able to move the monitor any way I want, all right? So let me pause, make it a little faster for you guys right now, so I can bring it closer to me. That's 100% right now. Okay, we'll slow it down. So this is the thing we're showing you right now. All right, if I undo this screw, this thing right here is very, very important. All right, this whole thing right here. Without it, there would be no way to securely hold my whole teleprompter. Now, it's currently on the locked position, but if I unlock it right now, I'm then able to, twist my teleprompter around. All right? You guys see that? Now, because I've done that, I've lost the calibration at the moment. It needs to be sitting at a certain direction at my wall, so it's always pointing correctly. Otherwise, if I have the teleprompter moved too much left or too much right, it's going to start showing the door or too much over there. So I'll fix that quickly right now. All right, so it just took me about 30 seconds to a minute to quickly recalibrate my teleprompter monitor. Otherwise, it'd be facing too much that way or too much that way. I want it always facing me, directly in the middle, no matter which way the monitor moves. It's always facing me, roughly in the middle. Okay, that's all to do with the parallax motion on the actual track. I will quickly show you that now, actually. So if I was to adjust this right here, and of course that one right there, then I would be able to move this track. And this middle track is the thing that makes the monitor move, not just, obviously the machine's making it go from side to side, but it has a parallax movable motion, and that's because of this middle track. If I hover it like this, you guys can see the little wheel right there, and that's following this track, all right? So it's always facing me. If I was to move this the slightest little bit, either way, it would completely stuff up the image. It would then go over there or too much over there. So going back to this image right now, this is something that we highly, who am I? The Queen? We are not amused. I'm drinking a cup of tea with my finger. That's what the royals do. Is that what the royals do? I don't know, but we are not amused, everybody. This is something I highly suggest to get, so you can adjust whatever it is you're putting on it. If you just want to put a camera on it, then that's absolutely fine as well. but the option is there to put something bigger, like a teleprompter monitor. All right. Going to that in a second. Well, yes, we'll show you this quickly right now. This is the power brick that I'm using to power my cameras. All right, this power brick is able to charge those cameras permanently as long as they're powered into the wall. If you want to be able to power your cameras for a studio atmosphere like I have, then you may need to research what device you'd need, okay, because it's going to be different, okay? So as you guys can see, I've got a little electric cord coming out of here. That's the power, and obviously a cord coming out of here. That's the HDMI into my ATEM Mini Pro. Now, I am going to take apart, this thing keeps getting in my way. I'm going to take apart I'm such a creep. I'm going to take apart this teleprompter monitor live on air for you guys right now. I don't really want to do this because the amount of calibration that I would need to do in order to get everything perfect after you guys have gone home and you're in bed and you're onto another video, you know, I've got to fix this bloody teleprompter monitor completely accurate and completely perfect again. One thing that I do want to show you guys is, if I quickly go back to me, we'll put the camera back on again. One way I'm able to calibrate is by looking at the two poles. This is what I mean. Do you guys see the two poles there? I need to see the light with my left eye and the light from that one with my right eye. And when I see both of the lights coming through those two poles with my both left and right, then I know it's aimed directly at me. So that's one way I'm able to know that it's accurate. I basically look like this. Are we there now? Yep, I think that's pretty accurately in the middle. Perfect, you know? All right, now, what else did I want to quickly show you guys? All right, so there's one more thing, very important thing I want to show you regarding how I use my teleprompter monitor. Now, regarding my ATEM Mini Extreme ISO, it has two HDMI outs. Let me turn around and I'll show you guys. It has HDMI out 1 and HDMI out 2. This is also all the HDMI ports that we have for all my cameras. All right, we have 8. We have the capability for 8 different cameras, but we're only using, you know, like 6 or 7 at the moment, okay? I have a camera for my bird cage, which I will quickly show you, is just over here. Where are we? My bird cage is just right there, and I have a camera behind it, but for some unknown reason, the camera will not turn on at the moment, so it is what it is. But yeah, we usually have around about 6 or 7 working at any given time, okay? Now, the really cool thing about my ATEM Mini Extreme ISO is that it has 2 HDMI outputs. It's so incredible for what I need. Let me tell you why and show you why. So as you guys can see, if I change the camera angle, we have a television screen and we have the actual teleprompter monitor. Now, with Magic, I'm able to change different camera angles purely on my teleprompter. This is the website. This is coming off my computer right now, all right? Talking about Gareth for some reason. I'm using my finger on my computer screen and I'm showing you guys what I'm doing, but it's on this camera angle. How is that possible? I can literally change camera angles at the touch of a button. That's my iPhone. That's my iPhone right there, all right? So how am I able to do this, changing these camera angles without changing your field of view, without changing your view? This is the program right now. This is the program right now, okay? This is what we're showing you right now. So how are we able to do that? I'm glad you asked. This is why I love this machine so much, all right? So how are we making this work? These buttons right here. Now these buttons only work for HDMI out 1, right? If I wanted to change the camera angle on HDMI 2, I'd have to go into the settings and plug this into my computer, which is easily done, right? But then I'd have to have the computer constantly, the app constantly working for this to change it to, right? So I've got HDMI 1 I've got HDMI 1 plugged into my teleprompter, because with these buttons I'm able to change the view without actually changing what you see. It just changes for me, and that's why it's so important. Now number 2, we'll just quickly show you. Wipe the lens. So number 2, HDMI cable number 2, which is going out, is going to my television screen. Once again, the only way to change that would be with software at the moment. So let's show you right now what I'm able to do, right? If I go to program, then my teleprompter is showing what the program out is seeing, okay? If I show you camera 1, it goes to 1, 2 to 2, 3, 4, you get the drill, right? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm actually able to read an article off camera 4. So camera 4 is my computer, all right? So I'm able to read off my computer simply by clicking number 4, and that goes straight to my teleprompter, and you guys are none the wiser. I'm literally reading to you guys. Yes, did you hear about the weather in Sydney, Australia today? It was terrible because the government allows bushfires to happen too regularly. Wow, where did that come from, right? It's because it's true. So yes, this is why I love this machine so much. We're able to change the camera angle for what I want to see at any given time on number 1, which is now plugged into my monitor. Obviously, before I had the teleprompter there, it was plugged into my television screen right there, and I was able to do all those button changes with the television screen, but we don't need that anymore. I'm happy to have the TV showing all my cameras. And yeah, by the way, the television was hit with the fan. What would you call it? I've got one of those fans to keep me cool in summer. It fell over and hit the TV right there. It's got all these nasty lines here now, and these like weird lines across the screen. It still kind of works. I don't want to change it yet. It's kind of working, so why change it, right? But yes, that's why my television looks kind of crappy, especially here, here, and across here, all right? But anyway, so one more time, showing you these buttons controlling my teleprompter monitor. This is honestly black magic. It's the company who makes the A10 Mini Pro. They're called Black Magic. Look, it's a stupid pun. Forget about that. But going back to this for a second. So yeah, so we're on number 7, and 7 is attached to my phone, right? Back to 1 again. Hello everybody. Back to 7, which is my telephone, showing you this. So I can do all these different buttons right now, and it doesn't really matter what I do. You guys are still seeing what I've showed you. Number 7, okay? But by pushing those buttons, I'm getting all these changes on my teleprompter, which is quite literally amazing, okay? There we go. Now there's one more thing I wanted to show you actually right now. You guys may have seen a little dot, a strategically placed dot on my monitor. If you were keen-eyed, you may have seen that, right? And you may be asking yourself, well, why is there a weird dot on the screen? Well, I've put a dot on my teleprompter monitor, so I'm able to look at this dot. And I know that behind this dot is actually my camera lens, all right? Why is that important? Well, when I'm looking at a website, right? When I'm looking at any information off a website, when I'm reading something, my eyes will be, up or down, side to side type of thing. And when when I've finished quickly reading, I want to be able to have, complete eye contact with you guys, the audience, right? Having the teleprompter monitor and constantly looking at it is already giving my attention to you, which is great. But I want to know exactly where the camera lens is, right? And how can anyone see where the camera lens is when there's a big bloody screen there? All right? Can you guys see the camera behind it? No, you can't. And that's the problem. So I'm going to show you why this dot is here right now. Because the screen is on right now, because the monitor is on, this is what the monitor looks like from this angle, by the way. So because the monitor is on, you can't really see it, but can you see the camera lens there? All right. what I'm going to do, I'm going to click one of these buttons right now, and I have to turn number 8 on. Okay, so I have not got a camera plugged into number 8. So there is nothing on the screen as opposed to number 1. That's my main camera, all right? I've got nothing plugged into number 8, so I'm now able to show you what's behind the glass without a screen in the way, okay? Let's show you right now. So can you guys see the camera and the dot now? But you're probably wondering, how is the camera not seeing the dot? Easy. Because I've put the dot on the actual screen. The dot is getting reflected up and it's showing me exactly where the camera lens is. Now this is a piece of blue tack, right? I literally put a piece of blue tack there just in the exact correct area, so I'm able to know where the lens is. Now there's nothing there. There's literally nothing there. This is just a piece of glass that's reflecting, beam split of glass, right? You want this thing to be as clean as possible, all right? No fingerprints, nothing on there whatsoever. This dot is literally getting reflected from there. The dot is right there. So yeah, that's a cool little trick to show myself where I need to look in order to look at you guys. So yeah, situations like this allow me to get the best kind of show I can possibly get out to you guys. All right. Once again, if you're loving the show so far, please give us a like, subscribe, ring the bell. We haven't finished yet. I'm going to take apart the teleprompter right now for you guys. Okay, but don't forget, we are on channel 2, which is what you're on right now, and of course channel 1, where I make travel vlogs every now and then. Okay. Now this is the moment of truth. I'm literally going to take this teleprompter monitor off and show you what's underneath. Show you what it looks like. Fingers crossed. Here we go. So I'm going to turn off my control panel. All right. There's a switch behind it. Off. Now the monitor is not moving backwards and forwards anymore. Obviously the screen is still on. We've not turned that off, right? So guys, once the power has been turned off, obviously this is where the battery used to be, but it's now powered with AC, 12 volts. Once the power is off, one cool trick, right? You can actually move this with your hand as fast as you want. Now I don't suggest going too fast because, you're gonna cause a problem for the actual machine. But that's really, really cool, right? That you can do that. Now, one more thing before I take it off. I'm going to show you the cords that are behind this teleprompter right now, okay? I'm going to unscrew this, loosen this up, and now I can actually tilt the thing any way I want. All right, there we go, just like that. So I've got 4 cables going to this piece of machinery right now. One's from my camera, which is a 90D, all right? An EOS 90D so that's the lens I actually have. It's an 18 to 55 lens. All right. And we'll zoom out again. So once again, we've got a HDMI cable to the camera. We've got a power cable. I wonder if we can bring this out some more for you guys. Hopefully we can. We've got a power cable coming out of the camera right here. That's going into the actual battery socket. So that's 2 cables just for the camera right there, okay? We've got a 3rd and 4th cable for the monitor itself. One is the HDMI cable, and the other is going to be, obviously, the power. You need to be able to power this thing somehow, right? So there is the power plugged into there, and the HDMI plugged into there. And I've just got them kind of wrapped around in such a way, okay? So I originally bought these 2 things from my local Bunnings hardware shop. They go into the actual wall, not the gyprock, but the actual hardwood that's behind it. I ended up getting a stud finder to find the studs for here and for here, and both of them are from Bunnings, my local Bunnings shop. But yeah, I originally just had one piece of wood here, and that was fine, right? Because the slider was right here, right? But I knew once I had the teleprompter on top, I would need so much more room this way, so much more room. So yeah, I've got 2 pieces of wood, which I ended up gluing together. As you guys can see, it's glued right there and all the way down with wood glue. And not just that, but I've got 3 support pieces of wood. One here, one there, and one right there. These 2 at the ends, this one right here and this one right here having an extra purpose. It's actually stopping this whole thing from sliding off because this thing here is in the way, right? So this thing literally can't slide off, and it's like that for both sides. But not just that, I've obviously put a screw here, right? And I've put a screw in there as well, and it's the exact same on the other side. That keeps it all sturdy because, you know, this is quite a heavy thing, right? You don't want this thing falling off. It's kind of top heavy that way regarding, you know, so yeah, be very careful, be very secure. Did you guys see the cables, right? The cables are constantly scraping on the back of the wood, right? I thought to myself that could be a problem. So as you guys can see, the wood here is very, you know, sharp, very hard. Imagine a cable constantly running on that every single day for a daily show, you know, over a period of time. It would cut the cable. It would be terrible. So what I ended up doing was actually sandpapering both sides, this side and underneath, so when the cable starts running over it, there is never an issue with that ever again, right? That's exactly what you need. Otherwise, you'll just have cables getting ripped up by the constant motion of this going backwards and forwards, right? You don't want that. I was literally in and out of my garden fixing this shelf up, right? This shelf took me so long. All right, so this is the actual lifting off the monitor. Very briefly, just to show you what's inside, okay? There we go. Hi, everybody. It's like the Matrix. It's like Inception. 3-dimensional, 4th-dimensional shit going on there, huh? So we're going to undo this little lever right here. So using my iPhone again, I'm able to show what I'm about to do. I'm undoing this, all right? I'm loosening this up. Sometimes these two touch each other. If they do, it's just a matter of turning it around so they no longer touch, right? So this is really loose now. Don't want to unloose it too much. So now I'm able to undo and move this whole thing. If I turn my studio light around like this, I'm then able to get some light on my actual monitor so I can show you guys a bit better. All right, does that sound good? Now that I've undone that, when I slide this off, I have to push this red button in at the exact same time. It's like a safety feature. Without pushing that button in, you can't fully move it. But you see how I can move it up and down, or sorry, side to side? And there we have it. There is the actual underside of the monitor. Okay, this is what it looks like on the side. Mind you, this thing's pretty heavy, all right? This thing's actually pretty heavy. I probably should have taken these cables out before I did this, but it is what it is, all right? So now that we lift it up, I can show you what's underneath of it. All right, there we go. So like I said, I'm using 2 of these things. I'll rest this on its side a little. And we're using 2 of those things before, like we said. There's the other one, which is getting held onto the base, which is this thing right here. All right. That little red button on the side right there activates that little switch right there. Okay. And once again, once that's been turned, then you can easily move this left and right. Okay. Once that's been locked into place one more time, then you can't really turn it, okay? Which is such a great little invention. Awesome. I'm so glad I got this. But this is basically what's underneath of it. And yeah, I didn't have a plate. When I actually bought this monitor, it didn't come with a plate to actually hold it onto something. Like if I wanted to use this as a monitor or something for my computer, like there was literally nothing to hold it onto. There was nothing to support it. There was no plate behind it. So I ended up, like I said, getting that cheese plate. And cheese and crackers. It was pretty good. Me and a couple of mice had some dinner together. But yeah, once I secured the cheese plate into 2 of the holes, mind you, there's 4 holes. There's one of them right there. And there's another one on the other side, which you probably can't see. But yeah, this cheese plate is secured with 2 out of 4 screws, which is not too bad. And yeah, this is plugged in. This is holding on the base, you know, type thing. And this thing at the back is adjustable. This whole thing right here is adjustable. I can make this thing higher or lower. And one more problem that I have with this machine, right, is that the actual camera at the back, I want to make the camera higher, but I can't because this thing here is restricting it to go up any higher. I think other monitors would have a better situation to allow you to have cameras up high, but this one doesn't, which is another reason why I don't like this one for my situation. So yeah, it won't go up any higher at all. It physically won't go up any higher because this thing's in the way. So that really sucks. Now, if I unplug my power cable and HDMI cable from this, and if I undo the little screws, the two little things here, got one right here and one right here. And now I can quite literally just slide this off. There we go, just like that. So there's the actual prompter, people, monitor with the blue tack on there, which shows me exactly where my camera lens is. And that's what it looks like underneath. All right, underneath. Too easy. So yeah, there you go. This thing, I bought two of them. They definitely came in handy. And the cheese grate things definitely come in handy as well. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. This is what it looks like without its screen. Kind of lonely, isn't it? It's not as heavy anymore, but still very heavy. It's still very heavy. But yeah, there you go. I don't think we can show you any more than what I've shown you guys. If I've helped you today in any way regarding your setup in your YouTube studio, your home studio, your actual studio, what your bedroom, whatever it may be, if I've helped you, please guys, give us a like and a subscribe and ring the bell. Channel 2 and of course Channel 1, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at Tallboy Gareth. I'm going to have some heartache editing this video because I usually don't edit videos for Channel 2, but we will definitely edit this video today. That's a bit better. I love you guys and I'll see you for tomorrow's video. Bye bye.